10 forgotten inventions that changed America. Forever one. The refrigerator, 1800s to 1910s. Before refrigerators, Americans used ice boxes, essentially wooden cabinets filled with huge blocks of ice that melted faster than your summer willpower. The first electric refrigerators appeared in the early 1900s, and early models were so loud that some customers complained the humming demon in the kitchen kept them awake. One of the first successful home units, the monitor top by GE 1927, looked suspiciously like a small robot sitting on a metal box, but it worked so well that people called it the best friend of summer. 2. The mechanical reaper, 1831. Invented by Cyrus McCormick, the mechanical reaper revolutionized American farming by allowing one person to harvest as much grain as a dozen workers. At its first public demo, the machine hit a bump, nearly tipped over, and startled the judges, but still harvested more grain in minutes than workers did in hours. Farmers joked that McCormick's invention cut more wheat than gossip cuts reputations. 3. The safety elevator, 1853. Before Elisha Otis, elevators worked until they didn't. Cables broke regularly, which made taking the elevator a lot like buying a lottery ticket with gravity. Otis changed everything. In 1853, he dramatically stepped onto an elevator platform at the New York Crystal Palace, ordered the rope to be cut, and the safety brake stopped the fall instantly. Crowds gasped, Otis bowed, and skyscrapers became possible. He basically invented both the safety elevator and the first live tech demo. 4. The typewriter, 1868. The first practical typewriter, invented by Christopher Latham Scholes, looked like a sewing machine mated with a piano. Its original QWERTY layout was actually designed to slow typists down so the keys wouldn't jam. Early secretaries typed so fast that offices complained the machine made women too efficient, which was apparently terrifying in the 1870s. Still, the typewriter became the laptop of the 19th century, minus the battery life problems. 5. The ice-making machine, 1850s to 1860s. Before artificial ice, entire businesses existed just to harvest frozen lakes and ship blocks of ice around the world, wrapped in sawdust like giant frozen burritos. Then came Dr. John Gorey, who built one of the first mechanical ice makers to cool hospital rooms in Florida. Locals thought the machine was witchcraft. One newspaper claimed he was trying to play God with winter. Today, we take ice for granted every time we fill a cup at a gas station fountain drink machine. 6. The steel plow, 1837. When John Deere built the first successful steel plow, farmers in the Midwest finally had a tool that could cut through tough prairie soil without constantly clogging. One fun detail. Deere used polished steel originally meant for making saw blades. When farmers saw how easily it sliced through earth, word spread like wildfire. The steel plow didn't just transform farming, it helped turn the Midwest into the agricultural powerhouse of the nation. 7. The pneumatic tire, 1890s. Americans didn't invent the pneumatic tire concept, but U.S. inventors and manufacturers were the first to mass-produce tough, reliable versions that made bicycles and early cars usable on rough American roads. Early drivers loved the comfort, but hated the maintenance. Tires would pop so often that people joked you spent more time pumping than driving. Still, pneumatic tires changed everything from commuting to racing and led directly to America's car culture. 8. The electric streetcar, choo trolley, 18th century. The graffiti-free ancestor of modern public transit, the electric trolley transformed cities like Richmond, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. Before electric streetcars, public transportation meant horse-drawn carts, which is exactly as slow and smelly as it sounds. When the first electric lines opened, they were shockingly fast. Newspapers reported passengers holding hats, hair, and stomachs because 20 miles per hour felt like warp speed in 1890. 9. The combine harvester, 1800s to 1930s. The combine harvester merged three separate farm tasks, reaping, threshing, and winnowing, into one machine. Early combines were pulled by teams of up to 40 horses, which looked more like a parade than farm work. When engines took over in the 20th century, American farms became some of the most productive on Earth. Modern combines are so advanced they're basically tractors with PhDs. 10. The pneumatic postal system, 1890s to 1900s. Yes, America once sent mail through tubes, literal tubes, blasting capsules of letters through underground pipelines using compressed air. New York, Boston, and Philadelphia used pneumatic mail for decades. One technician joked the tubes were the closest thing to teleportation we'll ever get, while postal workers warned that if the capsule jammed, retrieving it involved crawling through a metal intestine. Though retired today, it was once the fastest mail system.